We apologise for keeping you waiting. It's finally time to flight test the Lily Next Gen. Hi, I'm Ash from DroningON. In part 1 we unboxed and inspected the new Lily Next Gen drone, and we had intended to flight test it immediately, but our model suffered from a black screen issue during the live feed, and so we had to wait for a replacement. Finally it arrived, and now you can watch the flight test. Enjoy and be sure to comment below whilst you're watching. First, let's charge up the battery by slotting it into the USB powered charger that ships with the Lily Next Gen. The lights illuminate and then flash whilst charging. Unfortunately, there are no lights on the actual battery, and so you do have to plug them in to check their charge level. Once charging is completed, all 4 lights illuminate, and it takes less than an hour per battery. So yes, it is finally Lily Day. Now I had some issues with the previous one whereby basically the video feed was just black, couldn't see anything, and so obviously the drone was essentially unflyable, which is a real shame, so I was very excited to fly it nice and early. So I've got another one now, and hopefully this one is going to work. So first thing, it's very, very cold today, and I'm not exaggerating there, it's very cold. So first thing I've been doing is put the battery in your pocket. Always keep these batteries nice and warm before you use them. And so slot that in there like that, and shut the top, put the Lily down. It really is small. It does shock me every time I see this, just how small it is. Turn it on by pressing and holding the power button on the back, which then starts flashing like that. And then we'll get some startup sounds, hopefully. Now, just whilst that is starting up, I have seen a few other test videos online, not many from reviewers, but a few test videos. So they are flying, which is good, and the video quality so far is very good. Just other few interesting facts. This does use the same Qualcomm processor or flight controller board as Dobby. And interestingly, there is another drone called the Take drone, made by a factory called High Great. Now, I've actually been told by one drone manufacturer that they were approached by High Great and asked if they wanted to create a rebrand of their Take drone as well, saying that they had created Lily. So essentially, High Great say that they manufacture this. Now, if you look at the drone called the Take drone, it is much cheaper. It's absolutely identical from what I can see. Links are in the video description for that drone as well, and it's cheaper, of course. I've asked Lily about this, or Motor Group, and they've gone very quiet. In fact, they stopped responding to me, sadly, after I asked the question, which is a sad thing, really. Motor Group are not manufacturers. They don't design drones. Everybody knows that. They are a retail organisation that invest in products and brands, and so nobody would be shocked if they just admitted that this was just a rebrand. But hey, anyway, let's see what it's like. Okay, so with the drone now fired up, it's going to start emitting Wi-Fi. And so what I'm going to do now is connect to it via my phone. So I'm going to open up Wi-Fi settings. Looks like we might already be connected. No, okay, Lily. Connecting to that now. Checking the quality of the internet connection. Okay, so we are now on, and we can now click start on the app. Now, one downside, I think, of this app is that you do have to register with Lily before you use it. So you have to kind of log into their registration site. Don't know why they did that. Zano did that, and a few other drone manufacturers. And it's a bit of a shame, because it means that if you excitedly run out of your house to fly this drone without an internet connection, you're not going to get very far. Okay, so I'm connected to Wi-Fi now, and as you can see, I've got my live stream. Latency is the same as any other Wi-Fi drone in that regard. Now, I've got EIS turned on at the moment, and as you can probably see, if I wobble the drone around, and I'll put the video on the screen now, that EIS is really good. Now, Dobby, if I was doing this with a Dobby, you'd be getting black bars, and you do get those with a Lily. If I really move it around, there you go, you can see we get the bars now. Because this is a very much a fisheye lens, that EIS is really, really good. And of course, it's helped as well by the fact, and I didn't mention this in the unboxing, but this entire drone is actually suspended on soft-mounted mechanisms. So the whole motor assembly and the whole structure here is separate to the structure which carries the camera. So you can see I can move the whole thing around like that. Very, very clever design. And worth noting that the Take drone from Hygrate has exactly the same. So really nice idea there. And that means you get much reduced jello, which was one of the biggest problems with Dobby, the jello on the video footage. So there is a bit of a breeze here today, but we'll give this a go. So in the app, you can see here on the screen now, we've got 86% battery, 12 satellites. It thinks we're off the floor a little bit, which we're not at the moment. We'll just look in settings. We've got photo settings there, various parameters, including preview resolution and EIS. Now, just to show you that, if I turn off EIS, we get the fisheye look. Obviously, we get no stabilization, but we are now getting 4K essentially now. So it's really up to you. If you're on a very, very calm day, or you intend on stabilizing it post-production, then you could turn EIS off. But we're going to have EIS on for now because we want to test it out. So we've got GPS, we've got location successful, that's good. Let's see, the settings in here are all exactly the same as Dobby. It's the same app. You could probably actually fire up the Dobby app and use that. But obviously it's the Qualcomm chipset and flight controller, so it's all standard. Now I'm going to first of all calibrate the compass, and this is exactly the same as Dobby again. It warns you to open the arms. Going to rotate it horizontally, so moving around. And now vertically. And with these calibrations of drones, never rotate the drone. Always hold the drone as I am here and rotate you. It's a much better way and a much more reliable way of calibrating. So we're all calibrated. I think it's time to take off. So we will switch to video mode. We'll start recording. There we go. And remember, this hasn't got an SD card, so it records directly to the drone where we've got, I think it's 8 gig, 7 gig of footage. Press the takeoff button, confirm, and here we go. This is exciting. Up it goes. First thoughts are that it's very quiet, very, very quiet. And I mean super quiet. Sounds like the props are spinning at a very low RPM. And the drone is quite lightweight, so it's not taking a lot to keep it in the air, but that is really, really smooth. We have got wind coming in from the rear, so obviously it's keeping itself in position. But that optical flow and also the GPS positioning that it's got is working beautifully. And I wouldn't expect anything less, because to be honest, Dobby is a great drone. And this almost feels like an evolution of Dobby, like the next version. It also looks great. It really does. So we're in the air. I mean, you can see from the video now, that is just really stable. You would never know that that's not a mechanical gimbal, despite the wind that we've got coming in today as well. So let's take it a little bit away. Look at the speed it goes. Now remember, there's no transmitter here, flying this entirely via the phone. And I don't normally like that, but actually this is really responsive. And it's very smooth and controlled. I mean, you can really be precise and granular with the sticks on screen here. From the on-screen footage as well, you know, that's hopefully looking quite nice. Not the smoothest of flying, I know, but it's so quiet. Can't believe how quiet it is. They are bringing out a transmitter for this as well. I don't believe it's released yet, but with that, this is going to be great. That's really, really nice. So very subdued flying style, altitude hold working beautifully. You would never know there's wind today. And if I let go of these controls, it's got auto braking, as you can see, and it just stops in its position and holds that. Now I'm just going to look to see if there is sensitivity here, because I could actually do with a bit more sensitivity, but it doesn't look like we have any, unfortunately. So that's a shame. Now up to 15 satellites. Now what I want to do is fly it away, and I want it to return to home, see what it does. So let's fly it a bit of a distance away, get a bit of altitude as well. Look at that video. That's really, really good, considering this is entirely EIS. So we're now about 43 meters away. I'm going to hit the return to home button. You sure you want to go back? Make sure there are no obstacles yet. Okay, let's see what it does. So it's first of all ascending a little bit. It's turned around very quickly. It's not wasting any time there. And here it comes at quite a speed as well. That's good. Okay, it's slowing down. Now this will be interesting to see if it actually flies back to our mat down there. It's now directly above us and it's descending. Now I'm actually going to interrupt it so it doesn't land on the wet grass, but I mean that's not bad when you consider it's only literally 1.5 meters away from where we took off. So that's pretty impressive. Now it actually wouldn't let me interrupt return to home there. It carried on going down despite giving it up throttle, but I was able to still control the direction of it. Now I think one weakness of the design here actually is the exposed fan here on the bottom. Also the optical flow camera and the ultrasonics, but that's standard for any drone. But the fan is a problem, I think, because if you land on long grass like I am here that's wet, that grass, the blades are going to go into that fan there, and potentially that grass is going to end up being distributed as well as the water inside, and that's not good. So that's one design feature that I don't think is particularly clever. But we know return to home works, so I am happy. So what we'll do now is go up and let's have a look at some of the features here. So we'll get a bit of altitude and see what let's do a range test actually. Down to 47% battery. It is cold, however. Batteries don't like cool weather. Up it goes. It's so smooth, this drone. I mean, that Qualcomm chipset is just incredible. Lovely, lovely platform. So let's go up. Now remember, one downside of this drone is that it doesn't have a tiltable gimbal. There's no way to tilt the camera up and down, which is a shame because it's capturing 4K. And so of course it does need that additional image width to stabilize the image, but it's a shame that there isn't at least an option to tilt it up and down. So at the moment we're at 50 meters, 55 meters, 60 meters. Look at the stability of that image, and it is windy up there. 36% battery, 35%. I noticed that battery draining quite quickly actually, 33%, 32%. We're at 71 meters, but that's looking really nice up there. Getting a bit of yaw drift actually, interestingly. Still got signal, so that's a good sign. If I just yaw around, I'll try and do that a bit gently. Yeah, yaw seems to be a bit unpredictable actually. If I just yaw around, try and do it slowly. I think actually it's struggling in the wind up there a bit. Yaw doesn't seem to be very responsive. It's pretty high up for a Wi-Fi drone. But there you go, we're getting the yaw just about. Whilst we're up there, let's take a photo. So switch to photo mode and capture. Now it's just a shame I'm not able to tilt up and down. Now the drone is actually descending and I'm not telling it to descend, and there's nothing on the screen to say that it's descending or landing or returning to home. I also can't stop it. Actually, no, sorry, there is a stop button. So I think when I was yawing, I must have pressed the land button or something, because it did start to land there, which is a bit odd. Looking back at the footage, it didn't actually appear to be my fault and must be a bug in the app. You can see that the auto land button glitches quite a few times. I'm not yawing when it does this, and so my finger isn't anywhere near that button. Very odd. Oh well. Okay, now the other odd thing is I seem to have lost my live video feed, which is a shame. Why is that? I can still control the drone, but the video feed is gone. So I think what we'll do is land the drone. And see if we can recover that. So yeah, it's still gone, oddly. Nice and stable there. So I'll press land. Okay. A bit silly of me to put my bag so close. And yeah, the video feed still hasn't come back, so I'll press back, press start again, and we're connected again. Are we going to get our live feedback? No, nothing. Now I do wonder if this is a problem with the app or if it's a problem with the camera, the drone itself, because this is the problem I had with the other one, where it would just basically go black, which is a worry. So what I'll do is disconnect Wi-Fi and reconnect Wi-Fi, and then make sure we're connected to Lily. Yep, we are. Press start. And are we going to get a feed now? Drone has been connected. Yep, there's our feedback. So it does seem to be a bit of an issue there, where you have to disconnect Wi-Fi and reconnect again to get signal back, which is very odd. Okay, so let's take off again. Confirm. Down to 32% battery now. I have got another battery with me, fortunately. So we are low on battery, but I think what we'll try quickly is a bit of follow me, because that's a feature that everybody really likes. So we are recording at the moment. I'm gonna press the follow me button, confirm, draw a little picture around me and hit start tracking. Now you can see actually that it has panned down. So the camera did actually pan down there. So if I move around, look at that, it's tracking me very, very nicely actually. And pretty smoothly. And again, you just wouldn't know that there's no gimbal on here. That's really impressive. Now it's keeping its distance from me. Even though I'm walking towards it, it's actually backing up now. If I run, it's actually doing a brilliant job there because it's keeping me in shot. Now Dobby didn't do that. Dobby used to just lose you. If I again run away, it should start accelerating towards me. Yeah, there it goes. And then as soon as I stop, it stops. That's really, really good. So whilst it's tracking, I can move the drone still. However, it seems to stop tracking when you do that. So let's try that again. Start tracking. Yeah, so as soon as you give it any control inputs, unfortunately, it stops tracking you. But that tracking is really impressive. That, I would say, is probably the best optical tracking I've seen from a drone that doesn't have a gimbal, a mechanical gimbal. See if I can confuse it by running under it. You ready? Here we go. Even that didn't confuse it. That's really, really impressive. I can change the altitude actually, but it looks like any kind of yaw, roll or pitch seems to break the tracking mode. So if I take the altitude up, there you go, you can see it's tracking me and it's actually moved away from me because I've increased the altitude, and of course to be able to keep me in shot, it needs to be further away. But that's really, really good. Okay, so we are quite a way away from me now. You see it lost tracking there because I'm very small down here. If I try again, start tracking. Yeah, so you can't be too far away, but still that's really impressive. So brand new battery, 97% we've got on there, 14 satellites. Let's take off, we'll check the 360 degree feature, and then we'll do a bit of a horizontal range test just to see how far we can go with this with a Wi-Fi control. So take off, up it goes, woohoo! Okay, so 360 mode, not sure what this does, let's have a look. 360, press the button. Please use it in an area free of obstacles, fine. Set the center of the circle. Fly the drone to the point you wish to fly around and adjust the height. Okay, set the range. Right, so fly it above me first, directly above me. Okay. It's about there, I think. Yeah, roughly, that'll do. Okay. Now, if I was on a DJI product right now, I'd be tilting the gimbal down to see if I am directly above me. I can't do that with this. 360, skip, next. Choose the radius and the altitude, and it will now, yeah, you can see it ascending and also moving away from me based on the radius that I've told it. Let's try a little bit lower. And then press start, and let's see what happens. Let's press left first. And it is flying around me. It's recording video automatically as well, and it's stabilized. Look how stable that video is, really good. The trouble is it can't see me because of course I'm lower and I can't change anything at this point. So really in this mode, I think what you should do is get it above you, as it is now. 360, blah, blah, blah. Next. And then when you've got this radius setting here, wait until you're actually on the screen. So I've told it to actually descend a little bit, move away. Still can't see me, so now I can move it out further then, to a further radius. Basically until it can see me. There you go, it can now see me. So I've got quite a long radius here. I'll move back a little bit actually. So if I now press start, that should circle around me, hopefully. Yay, look at that. And it'll basically keep doing that, and it automatically records video until you tell it to stop. You can press right as well to make it rotate the other direction, I guess. No? Okay, just cancels it. Oh well. So 71% battery. What would be really nice would be a flight time indicator on this screen of the app, just to give you an idea of how long you've been flying for. But okay, so let's go to video mode. Let's do a bit of a range test because we ran out of battery last time. There aren't actually any other features on here. So at the moment the app is quite limited in terms of functionality, but let's get a bit higher and fly it further away. Let's just see how far away we can go. Remember, this is controlled entirely by Wi-Fi. So at the moment we are 80 meters away, sorry, 70 meters, 80 meters away, and I've gone to 50 meters in altitude as well. That should do for altitude. We're still going, we've still got our live feed as well, which is really impressive. So I'm going to record video as well so we can get some footage. I mean, that is seriously impressive considering this is a Wi-Fi signal. Still got our Wi-Fi feed and it's still live as well. There's no lag or latency there. I am shocked. 65 meters altitude, almost 200 meters away. I can't see it now. It's out of sight. And do we still have our Wi-Fi? Let's see if I move left and right. Yeah, we've still got a non-latent Wi-Fi feed. That's incredible. Still moving away, 230 meters away. Can't see it. It's way out of visual sight. 250 meters. 260, again, no breakup, still a live feed there. I'm going to ascend a bit higher actually so we can see more of the scenery. 70 meters in altitude. That's really impressive. So 260 meters, and we're still going, still got live feed. Approaching 80 meters now, we're almost at half battery, so I'm going to start thinking about bringing it back. We're at 100 meters now, and I'm going to stop ascending there. We are 340 meters away. That's incredible. Okay, so it's saying low battery. Now I think that's based on how far away we are from ourselves. I am going to click return so it can come back. And you can see we've still got our live Wi-Fi feed despite being 360 meters away. Now whilst it's coming back, I'm going to take a few photos. Got a couple of dogs. Oh dear. Hello. Goodbye. That's seriously impressive. We're at 54% battery. So it's obviously very risk averse, the flight controller setup here. It will choose to fly back long before the battery depletes, based on the fact that we are quite a long way away from home, and it's forecasting that it's going to use quite a bit of battery to get back. So that's not a bad thing. I don't mind that at all. It is still returning to home. Seems to be sliding. I think there's a lot of yaw drift on this drone because it should be facing us at the moment if that's the direction in which it's flying. So that's quite odd. But it is coming back, 170 meters, very slowly, still at 54% battery. I can see it, yeah, we're wow, really high up there. So 100 meters up still. So I'm going to make it descend now. I'm actually going to stop the return to home as well. Press the stop button on there. Still 53% battery. 52%. And we are descending now. So it's another thing, another downside I think is that there's no sensitivity settings on this. The Wingsland S6 has some sensitivity settings and they were really welcomed by the consumers when they introduced it into the firmware. This definitely needs that. But I tell you what, for a Wi-Fi controlled drone, the range is really impressive. And it just makes you think, you know, when it's got a transmitter, it'll be even better. It is a really impressive drone. This, you know, is not like anything else I've tested before in terms of the non-gimbal stabilized drones. This is definitely better than Sim2 Moment, definitely better than Dobby, definitely better than Wingsland. But bear in mind that the Lily costs twice as much of all of those. However, the high-grade take version, if it is exactly the same drone as this, then really Lily is overpriced. But what I'll do, I think, is speak to GearBest nicely and see if they'll send me the high-grade drone so that I can do a proper comparison, because it'd be very, very interesting to look at it directly just to see. All in all, yeah, really nice drone. I'll put some positives and negatives up on the screen. Links to Lily are in the video description. And I think the Qualcomm flight controller chipset has serious potential as a DJI competitor, because it is a great platform. And the biggest thing, the key thing, is the stability and reliability of it. Links to Lily are in the video description. Happy New Year. Be sure to comment below with your thoughts. We'd love you to click that thumbs up button. And of course, if you're not already a subscriber, hit subscribe now for many more reviews and exclusives just like this one. Links to all products are in the video description.